All right, let's begin our meeting, and we'll stand and have a prayer and a pledge of allegiance.
Lord, we thank you today for all your blessings, Lord. I pray that you'll just pour out your blessings on our county. Be with us as we make decisions for the county, Lord, to make it a better place. Give us your wisdom, Lord, and guidance this morning. Be with everyone that works for the county and all our first responders, Lord, that you'll protect them and keep us all safe as we go through this weekend, Lord. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everyone and those that are watching on our YouTube channel. Today is a special meeting. It is the 27th day of September 2019. It's a Friday, and we put this meeting together shortly after our meeting last Monday, 4 days ago, where we approved a major change of insurance carriers from our self-funded plan that we have had for years with UMR, and we are now changing to health insurance coverage with Texas Association of Counties. We've got a few not minor details, important details, but items that we need to make decisions on that relate to the associated vision, dental, and life insurance components that are included as part of our employee benefits package. And so today we would really ask that we make these decisions today to enable our staff to put together the necessary paperwork and begin planning for open enrollment here within the next month. So we have present with us today Tony Melton from Higginbotham, our insurance consultants. So let's take these in whatever appropriate order you would like to. Tony, what do you think we ought to start with first?
I would just start with your dental.
Why don't you come on up and just sit there in Carl's seat? I've got a mic for you, and I had a mic there that was going to be used.
Yeah, we really didn't speak of the dental last week, but one thing that occurred to me last night as I was going over everything, in the past, the dental has always been combined with your self-funded medical. So in saying that the dental rates were less than the TAC quote, that's really kind of a subjective thought, because you kind of dreamed up your own rates for dental like you dreamed up your own rates for medical, you know? So the quote you have from TAC is a true fully insured dental proposal, and those are probably more closely to what you should have been charging all along had you been
Rather than supplementing the true cost.
So because your claims experience was rolled into your medical with the dental, they didn't give you two different pools, so probably you were subsidizing with what you were putting into the medical some of those claims costs for dental. Okay, so that being said, the TAC quote is probably very accurate as far as market value for the cost of that plan. And you're saving so much more on the medical costs that the slight increase in the TAC dental rates probably won't offend anybody. My thoughts.
So first thing is we'll talk about, I'm under the assumption that we will want to continue to provide dental insurance at no cost to the employee. However, if they choose to cover their dependents, wife, children, or both, then they will pay for some or all of that. Am I assuming correctly? Okay.
Right, that's what I put on the paperwork for TAC, is that the county would continue, I believe it was 2238.
Right. I just want to make sure there's no desire to change that we want to continue to provide no cost employee only. Why don't we go over what the changes to dependent coverage will be for the employees that choose to cover their wife and or children?
For the medical or for the dental?
For the dental.
Do you have that?
I don't have a dental.
I just brought the vision. Sorry.
This is the current one, bi-weekly.
And these are bi-weekly. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so it is quite a bit of a difference because y'all were really subsidizing this dental premium pretty much. I don't know what the adjective I should, pretty greatly is what I started to say, but anyway. So for people with children, the difference is going to be, they're going to be paying an additional $27.08 per month.
Per month, okay?
$10.86 for those with just a spouse covered, and $37.46 for those with the whole family.
Okay. That's the incremental additional amount.
That is the difference per month. The difference per pay period is $19.28 for those with kids only, $11.17 those with a spouse, and $30.47 those with a whole family.
That's the gross cost there, not the incremental.
And the thing too is, I just wanted just to throw this in, on any dental plan that has orthodontia, the children and family rates are always going to be substantially more than the employee only and the employee spouse rate, because those are the only tiers that are subject to orthodontia. So, and orthodontia is only covered for those under 19. But on your current plan, it was to 19.
So that's an advantage we get. What are some of the advantages or improvements in the dental plan with TAC versus what we have had?
Well, if the ortho really does go to 26, that is something that no dental plan does. None. I mean, pretty much every dental plan with ortho that I have seen in the last 15 years stops at age 19.
Okay.
Typically, because that's when usually kids are through with braces. And orthodontia is is something that is a very costly plan. Now, it's a 50% benefit up to $1,500, but that's what you had on the prior plan as well.
Okay.
Was it to 1,000? Was it 50% up to 1,000? Yeah, and all ortho is always lifetime. So if somebody has used the ortho benefit on the prior plan, they will have used $1,000 of their lifetime, so they'll only have an additional $500 going to TAC, because that is a lifetime benefit by carrier, across carrier lines. That is not per plan.
Okay.
But, you know, I don't know how many, y'all might know better than I do how many that would apply to. Honestly, I mean, if you're going to move to TAC, I'd move it. I mean, because I asked Maria Costello, who is the person in the house at Austin that works with Santos, because I had already checked that you were going to move to their COBRA administration for the medical. I asked her if COBRA, and again, y'all may know this more than me, if you move the dental and the vision to TAC, does that include the COBRA admin for those plans as well? I don't know that. Yeah, I asked it specifically. Yeah, I asked her specifically this morning, and unless she's emailed me back since I walked up the stairs, I have not got an answer on that.
Okay.
All I can say is my experience in having those programs in another county, I don't remember having a separate company.
They probably do administer it. Yeah, right. Right, I think that's probably the case.
It's all,
Yeah.
you know.
Because this is all through,
Here, other than, because we had some different COBRA stuff on here that we just fixed, right?
well, the reason why I think it probably would be included is because the dental is the Blue Cross Dearborn National, and so is this vision provider. So if Blue Cross is handling the medical, they're probably also handling the dental and the vision.
And I sure would not want to have a separate or a different dental carrier in case there was ever a situation where there was medical claims related to dental claims. You'd have it all under the same house. So my recommendation is, despite the slight increase in rates for dependent coverage for dental, that you include this as part of your TAC conversion. But I'd like to address these one at a time. If there's any discussion or questions, here's your opportunity. Otherwise, if you're so inclined to go with the TAC dental. Let's make that a motion and get that step behind us.
I'll make a motion.
I think I heard you first. Commissioner Applewhite moves that we change our dental coverage to TAC to go along with our health insurance coverage. Second by Commissioner Fitch. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next subject, vision or life?
Let's do vision, because we actually have a proposal for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did receive a notice on Tuesday that there is no rate guarantee, there's no rate change on your Guardian Vision or Life, be it basic or voluntary. They did a rate hold. We got the TAC Vision quote yesterday about probably 4:30. So I printed out the full thing. I didn't see that till I printed it out that you had printed yours out. So the other sheet of paper that I gave you this morning, I ran by the office late yesterday afternoon and printed this out. And thank you, Nanette, for seeing that this is our bi-weekly premiums. So if you all want to jot in the actual Guardian rate for the monthly rate so that you can compare that to your TAC quote, the employee only, which is showing on that page as 505, is $10.94 for the monthly, $18.41 for the spouse or domestic partner, $18.79 for the employee and children, and $29.73 for the whole family. So your TAC proposal is less. I did compare the benefits, and they are the same. The only thing I can see that is different is they do have something in there up to $40 for contact lens fit and follow-up. There is actually not a copay on the Guardian plan for that, so it may be better to have a set cost for that if somebody wants to try contacts and they need to be fitted. But the allowances are the same. You've got a 12-12-24 contract, which means every 12 months you can get an exam, every 12 months you can get new lenses, every 24 months you can get new frames. Now the difference between this and what y'all talked about on Monday with when Santos was here, your medical plan does have a exam copay just to have an exam, but you would pay $30 to go get your eyes tested if you use your medical plan. This vision is a voluntary plan, meaning that y'all are not contributing anything to it. The employees are paying all of it on their own, and it does include contact lens and glasses, frames and lenses. Both of them do, the TAC quote and your current plan with Guardian. But again, it is totally voluntary. You're not contributing anything to it. But again, if you're going to move the dental and now the vision, the medical and the dental, I would say move this to them as well. This is underwritten by a company called IMED. That is who Blue Cross Blue Shield, Dearborn National, whatever. Dearborn National is actually going away. That name is not going to be around with Blue Cross after this next year. But they contracted with IMED. And the actual providers that you have had have been Mount Pleasant Eye Care and Mount Pleasant Eye Associates. I forget which one's which, but one's by Domino's and the other one's Dr. Nichols, okay? So those are the two providers that you have in town with your current Guardian plan, and those are the two providers that are listed with this new plan with TAC. It's pretty equal, and it's cheaper.
Again, this is all paid, this is not subsidized by the county. This is voluntary by the employee. If they want it, they pay for their own coverage as well as any of their dependents. So you've heard the recommendation of Tony to make this switch. Questions, comments, or a motion?
Make a motion that we switch to the TAC vision.
All right, motion's made by Commissioner Fitch to, on the vision component that is employee optional and fully funded by the employee, make the switch and go with the TAC provider.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Commissioner Parker. I thought I heard you both there. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, last
Okay.
component,
Life
life.
insurance, you've got a basic life benefit of $50,000, and you've got voluntary life that folks can buy up for themselves, their spouse, and their kids. TAC is quoting that with their carrier, which is Voya, the orange squirrels. Anyway, so they have not gotten us back a quote. I do know that from Guardian, again, there was a rate hold on the basic life and the vol life with Guardian. Y'all can table that until we get a proposal. Maria has not given me an indication as to how long that will be, but I don't have any numbers for you from TAC.
Okay. But you heard that if we stayed with our current provider, Guardian, there is no rate change this year. So safe move would be to stay with Guardian, at least for this upcoming year. And if and when there are options that we should consider from TAC, we could make that change the following year. Questions, comments, or a motion?
We're also on a timeline, and I want to see the rate for our vote, change to that Voya, because I heard from a few counties that theirs went up a tad.
That's what I wanted you to.
Versus being
that.
convenient and
Yeah,
keeping
I-
the same
I
as
did
we
call
are now.
Alicia Brandon. I talked to her after y'all moved just to kind of get some feedback from her, and she is now the consultant for Henderson County, and she said the same thing, that she's not seeing competitive quotes from Voya. Now, I don't know, so I can't give you any indication. I mean, and it really is based upon your group, so, sorry, I didn't turn that off. Anyway, but I don't know. And we may have it next week, so if you want to table it and come back to it before you do it, I don't know. I mean, it's your call.
And the thing with life insurance too is other than the blanket plan that the county gets, it's the employee purchasing it, so you really, the rate protects them if that rate goes up.
Well, and the only reason that I was hoping that you might be able to typically when you move to another carrier, I, as a broker, not as a consultant, but as a broker and as a consultant, I guess, I would go to the carrier and say, let's have a fresh open enrollment, because usually the first time you move carriers, everybody has the option to buy up, even people that are the walking dead. I mean, you could be eaten up with cancer or have some dread disease or be totally overweight or anything else that's going to knock you out later in the game. But you can get the guarantee issue amount, which is $150 for employees, $30 for spouses, $25 for spouses.
I think it's 50 on the spouse.
Okay, whatever your guarantee issue is, you're able to get, whether or not you're sick or not. So I had asked Voya for that, so that if you did make this move, you would have that. But I can also go back to Guardian and say, hey, they've decided to stay with you for another year and could have gone to the TAC carrier, give them an open enrollment, a new open enrollment, which does allow people that either Sharon asked them when they enroll, hey, this is the only time you're going to have a guaranteed issue, okay? It's when they're first hired. A lot of times they don't take it, do they? And then something happens and they come back and they go, man, I wish I'd had that $150,000 extra life insurance, and you cannot get it for love or money. So that's why, from that's my own perspective, is why it is a good thing to maybe ask for that fresh open enrollment. But again, if y'all vote to stay with Guardian, I can go back with them and see if we can get that new open enrollment. Can't guarantee I will have it, but I definitely can ask.
There's no downside to that. They wouldn't look at it and go, oh, we really need to raise your rate.
No. They wouldn't raise it regardless. The thing they look at is if so many, like if you've got 141 people, which you do, and if you already had 100 people participating in the vol life, they would say, well, we may not do that because we know that's only 41 people left, and probably those 41 people are sick, or didn't do it, and they know that. So do you know about how many people participate? Okay. But like if we have maybe 25 to 30% participation, we may be able to get the guarantee issue open enrollment with.
Well, especially since you're given pretty good reduction in dependent coverage, somebody may decide, you
They
know
may
what,
be
I'll
able
take
to
that
do
money
it.
and I'll
Yeah, and the thing
cover
that
a
Nanette
spouse.
speaks to is the rates are on a 5-year age band, and they're that whether or not you're with Voya, whether or not you're with Guardian, Prudential, Met, wherever you are. Life insurance for an employee buying it through an employer, every 5 years, that rate is going to age. And I can personally tell you, yeah, it goes up, you know, at the next anniversary, you know, after your birthday year. So, and it is a pretty hefty jump once you start
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
a little older.
Well, I say we give as much options to our employees as we can, especially, again, since we're saving them a little
Yeah.
money in one place. They may decide to buy more life insurance or cover a spouse that had not previously been covered. So that would be my recommendation, is you let Tony ask Guardian if they'll do a fresh open enrollment. And again, that we stick with Guardian at least for this upcoming year, based at least on comments that Commissioner Fitch has heard, as well as Tony, that we're not likely to see any improvement in those rates.
It's just hard to say without a figure. You can't, I just don't want to make that choice without seeing it my own self. So I make a motion, we'll keep Guardian for another year, and then we can look next year and check on it.
And that we seek...
See if we can do an open
fresh
enrollment, if we can. Not, we'll keep
Okay.
on going.
All right. Motion is made by Commissioner Fitch to stick with Guardian for at least for this upcoming year and request a new open enrollment.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I've got forms to sign. Is there anything else we should discuss while we are all here?
Open enrollment, we, Sharon and I kind of talked to Santos about that. We had asked him if we could do October, I think, 17th and 18th. Yeah, and if he's not able to do that, I'm planning on being here. I may have a grandchild coming, but you know, who knows when that comes. But anyway.
You've already got some of those, don't you?
I don't.
No?
My first one.
Oh, well, okay. We'll give you that morning off.
Anyway, and my first girl. So anyway, I've got 2 boys. Anyway, but she's not due to the 21st, so you know, and she's the first one, so it probably won't be the 21st. Anyway, so if he can't come, because I know they are stretched thin, that is the other thing that Ramisha did tell me, that a lot of times it's hard to get a TAC person at open enrollment, but you'll have, you know, me and Jessica here for whenever, because I think that week was the week that Sharon did not have payroll.
Say that again. It's hard to get TAC here for open enrollment?
Unless you make a plan change, is what Ramisha said. But, I mean,
Unless you make a plan change, which we're doing, aren't we?
That process that he wanted to be, but he was going to check schedules. Specifically, since we are first.
Well, I'd let you work that out with him, but I'd sure like for him to be here, or somebody from TAC.
anyway, we'll be here regardless.
He's pretty
So-
interested on being here, so we'll try to line him out.
Okay. That's great. So just after mid-October would be your target to give you plenty of
The
time.
only hesitation that would be, I mean, is if for some reason, because once you sign these, I'm taking them back to the office and I'll scan it to Maria. SBCs, they like to give them out before. We've typically always had SBCs after. As long as you give them within 60 days of open enrollment, you're in compliance. So
What's the
that's
SBC?
Summary benefit of coverage. It's something that the government says you've got to give to people during open enrollment. But theoretically, your open enrollment is not until December. It's just you do your open enrollment early because of getting it all into.
No, thanks, we have to start deducting premiums in December, so there's no way for us to do
I know, but I'm saying that theoretically, your open enrollment is the month of December. From the government's perspective, it's 30 days prior to your renewal. Okay? So I'm saying that you're fine if we don't get SBCs back from TAC, because your carrier produces your SBC. In the past, it's been produced by UMR. Now TAC will produce your SBC. And we always try to coordinate it with Colonial. And you said Colonial is going to come after Thanksgiving. Is that when you wanted them there?
it. Yes, because the premiums are not having in advance, so.
Okay.
that's not good.
So, Yeah, I mean, they're always separate, but, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we'll work all that out with Sharon and Nanette and whoever to get it kind of be wherever it needs to be, if that's good with y'all. Do y'all need to do something as far as where it is?
Well, just whenever we get it scheduled, we'll see if this courtroom's available or across the hall.
Okay.
Typically, we do it for 2 days again, both days, full days.
One day you put the sheriff's department.
Typically, I go to the sheriff's office like at 3 p.m. and stay there till like 7 at night to catch that. And then I go back at 6 in the morning and stay till about 8. And usually it's me that's there. Huh? And you, that's right, me and Sharon, yep. I mean, as far as other people, yeah, Sharon's here. But, and then we have, usually the second day is when you have your full day, and that's when you get your precinct folks here, and you go over everything in group meetings. And typically, most people can find one of those meetings to go to. Now, being a Friday, is that a bad day to have people?
We've done it before, but using Fridays, so.
Again, let's look at y'all's schedule and cooperation with Santos or Ramisha or whoever.
Well, Ramisha's gone. She didn't work for TACI.
It'll be Santos.
She's not at all, she's not there at all.
No, she's not there at all. Yeah.
She's the one that did the proposal last.
Right.
Santos said they could have somebody.
Okay.
He said if it wasn't him, it's they could have somebody.
Okay, all right. That sounds good. Thank you all for that effort involved in open enrollment. All right, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Commissioner Parker, second. Commissioner Fitch, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.